Okay, so this is the single arm push down or kickback. It's a variation of the tricep dumbbell kickback, and I really like it on the cables because it gives you constant tension and your grip is in a different position. So palms facing down or towards you, and you want to almost have your elbow behind your back or at least level with it, and you really want to kick that weight back to tense the tricep. It's a really good one for mind muscle connection, and especially if you've already got a pump, it's a great one to do to really feel it. So it's one I normally add into the workouts later on for you guys. But yeah, mostly just focus on keeping the elbow in position, try and not move your body too much, and you know, slow negative, fast positive, and try and squeeze at the top. You're going to be hearing that a lot from me, a lot of squeezing, tensing, and just focusing on the contractions. Next up, we've got the rope push down. Now, a similar thing applies, except this time with rope push downs, I like to lean slightly forward into it because it means you can get better isolation, I feel. At the bottom of the movement, you really want to try and flare your hands out to really hit the forward head of the tricep. A lot of people bring the rope down together. It makes it easier for yourself, but you're not going to be contracting the muscles as hard. And again, here I'm doing a drop set. There'll be lots of drop sets and stuff in the routines. So I like to lean fairly far forward. I like to keep my whole body tensed. I try and not move my elbows from position too much. They're moving a little bit here more than they normally would because I'm doing a drop set. But you really want to keep your elbows fixed in position and not swing like I do that. But the last few reps, cheat out is fine, completely fine. Then normally I superset these with overhead extensions. This is one variation of it where you have the weight above you and you lean forward, and it's great to combo with the previous one because you're already in that position set up, and it's a really good superset to do, and it hits the long head of the tricep rather than the shorter heads a lot more. So it's a great way. You can also do it in the other way around if you want to. There's lots of variations. So this is one variation of, and again, you want to keep the ropes apart at the top. Don't let them come together too much. Then you can do an overhead extension standing upright with the weight behind you, and this is really great. I often start with these sort of ones for my long head tricep, and since doing it, it's improved massively in size. So this is in the programs a lot. So you can see here, you know, you want to keep your elbows to the ceiling as much as you can, not really moving them too much, and just extend like that. Slow, controlled reps every time with arms. People rush arms, swing arms, put way too much weight. It's not about the weight at all. It's about getting a pump and really feeling the contraction in your arms and isolating them from all your other muscles, because your body's going to want to use more bigger muscles to take control of heavier weights. That's why you use lighter weights. Then we do a superset here again. So another example of the rope push downs. Again, this time I think my arms are slightly more in position. And again, look, so you just want to keep yourself locked in. A lot of people move around way too much when doing arm stuff. You want to keep your upper body as still as possible and really just focus on moving at the joint you're trying to contract at. So in this case, the elbows, you just want to move the elbows, but the elbows and the shoulders want to stay in place so that the bones aren't moving all over the place and you're not engaging your shoulders too much or other muscles to cheat yourself of the reps. So that's really key. Focus on that a lot. Next, we've got barbell skull crushers. This is a great one for the long head tricep as well. I often start with this one after I've done some chest or if I'm doing a full arm day. It's a great one to put in. So there's a few ways you can do this. You can do it behind your head like this, I see. And again, as long as your elbows are pointing towards the ceiling and you know you don't bring your arms too far forward so you're not engaging your tricep anymore, it's great. Sometimes I will come down directly to my forehead or my eyebrow level, and it hits your triceps in a slightly different angle, and you'll feel it definitely when you do these variations. So you can mix it up a bit. You can go straight behind your head, or you can go to your actual forehead and rest the bar there for a second and push up, and it's almost more of like a push press then. There's a few different variations. Just find what you feel comfortable, find what doesn't hurt your elbows, and always make sure you're a bit warmed up before doing these because they can cause a bit of tendon issues if you've got sore joints. Then we've got single arm dumbbell squat crushers. It's again the same thing, long head tricep, another variation. So you want to sit on a bench upright, get a dumbbell, it really doesn't need to be that heavy, and just behind your head like this, extend it, again, elbow pointing towards the ceiling. With all of these long head tricep movements, your elbows want to be pointed directly upwards, or your humerus wants to be like vertical. You don't want it to be at any other angle, it needs to be pointed directly upwards. And that way you're going to engage the muscle the best. So you can do these with single arm dumbbells and do it either side, or you can just do a regular dumbbell skull crush like this, so sit on a bench again and have it between two hands. And this is my preferred one over the single arm ones, but it's because I seem to get elbow issues with the other ones for whatever reason. So you can do it like this and just try and find, I like to use a preacher bench from for curls and put it backwards and sit on it, because then you don't get the dumbbell clipping the bench at all, but this is fine as well. And again, just as long as your elbows are pointed pretty much directly towards the ceiling, you're going to be hitting that long head tricep there, which you can see. So yeah, it's a really great one for that. Next up, we've got kickbacks, which again is just or bitch extensions. And again, you can see here my elbow and shoulder is locked in place. Nothing in my body is moving except that elbow joint to contract the tricep. This is what you really want to focus on with all arm stuff. Keep yourself locked in position, and you're going to get such a better contraction out of it. So every time you're doing any arm stuff, really think about that while you're training them, because for the most part you don't want to engage muscles that you don't need to use, because the arms are quite small, they're hard to train. Finally, we got some dips, which are great for chest as well, and really great for your just general tricep thickness. This is an assisted dip machine, because in this workout I've already done some chest and arm stuff. If you put them in first, you can do them weighted if you want, or not. And again, you can see I'm just getting real depth, not moving too much, not swinging, and just really focusing on slow controlled, a lot of slow negatives. Really help with arms a ton. So I focus on these slow negatives. Some people just bounce up and down, which is fine, but you're not going to get the same out of it if you really focus on the negative part of the reps. You know, they matter a lot, especially in arms, so you know, focus on that too. And then straight bar push downs, again talking about the same as rope push downs. You want to, again, locked in position. You can see I'm not moving around too much, really slow negative, and pushing down and tensing at the bottom for like a second or two. This is really key. You want to be doing this with all tricep things. You know, that little second pause is going to keep that muscle contracted for that much longer, and the slow negative really stretches it out, and it just helps you hit the muscle fibers in every single angle. Great way to do arms, and not many people train arms slow with not that much weight. You don't need to do a huge amount of weight sometimes. It's better off just to really focus on the contraction and get more reps in. Arms is a lot about high reps as well, so I put a lot of high rep stuff in there in the programs. Now we move on to some arm stuff. Now I've been focusing more on forearm stuff, and I'm going to get you guys to do it too, because it makes a big difference. Reverse grip curls are a great one to do over regular curls a lot of the time. Because people neglect forearms a lot, you really want to hit them as much as you can, unless yours naturally grow, but most people's don't. Reverse grip curls are great. They will really burn the front end and the underside of your forearms, and it's a good thing to do before other arm stuff, because you're going to get your forearms pumped ready before you do your regular curls and stuff, and your forearms are going to get growth out of it. So a lot of forearm stuff will be programmed in before other arm stuff in the programs, because it's always a weak point for people, even if they don't realize it. It still is for me, and I've been working hard on it. So yeah, reverse grip curls are a great way to do this instead of regular ones. Same as a normal curl, keep everything fixed, and again, just focus on slow. You know, you never see me speeding through reps on any of these arm things. Now, shrug holds are another great one to do before you do a lot of like arm stuff, simply because your grip is taxed so much, and you can see the veins on my forearms here being taxed, especially the underside of your forearm, which is the bit that actually makes it look big and meaty. This is going to really build this up. So you want to get some decently heavy dumbbells and just shrug and hold and pause them, and you can see I'm pulling them away from my body. I'm not letting them rest on my body at all. I'm really trying to tire my grip out. And once I fail to do any more shrugs, this movement's not even really about training the traps. You can chuck it in the back there if you want. Once I can't do any more, I literally just hold onto the dumbbells for as long as I possibly can until my grip gives out. If you want, you can just do this as well, or do a farmer's walk with the dumbbells, because the shaking around of the weights in your hand is going to make your grip be trained even harder. So yeah, these will do like 3 or 4 sets of these, and your arms will be burning, ready for more arm training stuff, and it really helps your forearms, you know, gain. And then another forearm one is hammer curls. Now this does a lot of biceps too. I love a crossbody hammer curls, which you can see here. So you want to bring the body, your arm slightly in front of you, and the dumbbell up to the opposite shoulder. Now the reason I do this over just hammer curls straight in front of you is because it thickens out your bicep too. By bringing it across your body, you're hitting the side part of the bicep as well as just the forearms, and you're getting sort of the best of both worlds. So it's a great combination to hit biceps hard and hit your forearms also. And these are great to do with drop sets. So in this work bit, I do a drop set. But again, you can see I'm not rushing any rep. I'm doing it fairly slow and controlled. I could quite happily be hammer curling, 30 kilo dumbbells, but there would be no point because I wouldn't be contracting the muscle any more than I am with these 17.5s right here. I would just be swinging the weight instead. My shoulders would get engaged, my back would get engaged, I'd be using momentum, and then you're not even actually training the muscle. So get out of your head heavy weights and arms. A, you're going to injure yourself, and B, you're not even going to get anything extra out of it. You're probably actually going to get a worse workout out of it. So you can see how many reps I just got down here, like a lot. Just, high reps. And often I will drop set this into a plate curl, which is great for forearms again and biceps. You can do this first if you want, or vice versa, and it's a great one to do straight after you've literally just finished your forearms, and bang out of the hammer curls into these plate curls. Really great. So you just hold a plate either side, bounce it off your thighs generally, and back up and slow control and squeeze at the top into a complete failure. Then lying curls. Now this is very underrated and an incredibly important thing to do for arms, and I chuck it in every single workout I'm doing biceps. This builds that thick lower portion of your bicep where it stretches out here, okay? Now, when you're doing regular curls, you hit the peak, but a lot of people forget about the lower part of your bicep, and it gives a massive amount of size to it. So with these, you want to use a lightweight. I'm using 10s, right? And you really want to focus on a slow negative of a couple of seconds, like 1, 2, 3, at least 3 seconds negative. Sometimes I'll go for 5, and the first few reps are easy, and it's going to really start to burn that bottom part of your forearm where it connects into your elbow, not forearm, bicep where it connects into your elbow, and it's really going to help stretch. So this negative portion on these is critical. Like see the last one, I'm doing a really slow negative to really tear that down, and then let go. And after you've done these, you don't need much weight and it will absolutely kill. Then there's some more dumbbell variations. So you can do preacher curls. Now you can either do this on an actual preacher bench, or on just a regular bench if you can't find one. It does almost identical things. You can just do it one arm at a time, and it's really good again at getting that stretch at the bottom, and the preacher's great for hitting your peak at the top, because it forces your body into a correct range of motion. You can't swing the weight at all because you're locked in. So if you have a problem with swinging the weight, do preacher stuff or stuff where you're fixed on a machine, because that's going to help you an absolute ton in basically getting you to have correct form and really build up the arms properly without cheating yourself. Then just finally, we're going to do some standard curl stuff, just go over the basics. You can see with regular curls, I bring the arm up in front of me a bit, and I twist the dumbbells out to the side. This hits the arms in different angles as if you're just doing them by your sides, short reps. Gets you full range of motion by bringing it up. It's going to work your shoulders a bit too, but it really, I find it helps to hit the peak and the outer side of the bicep too, and the forearms a lot. So I like to do my curls like this, and again, slow, controlled, and that negative every rep. I'm not just letting the weight drop down, I'm controlling it down. You need to drill this into you, that controlling the weight down is going to play a massive part in how much your muscles grow and develop, and how good of a workout you get and how good of a pump you get. If you ignore this slow negative part here, then you're not going to get anywhere near as much progress. And again, you can see I'm not swinging the weight at all. I'm only using 15 kilo dumbbells, and it's more than enough for me to get a ridiculous pump and help my arms grow. So that is all the arm stuff I've got so far. Hopefully it helps.